You guys, Adrielle Sigler has once, it's again blessed us with a TED Talk nobody asked for. Grab a snack, because sis really thinks she's out here, solving the world's problems one Facebook at a time.
My honest opinion pertaining to abortion. I think all people should stand by their intent. So if they have physical intercourse, sex with the intent for pleasure and not to have a baby, they should stand by their intent. However, as a responsible adult, if you know there's a risk of pregnancy because maybe birth control failed or there was no contraceptive, I think that you should be responsible to take a pregnancy test 3 weeks later and stand by your intent by scheduling yourself for an abortion pill 3 weeks later if you take a test and it's positive. So here's why I say this. You can take an abortion pill at 4 or 5 weeks of pregnancy, and what you'll be aborting is a zygote / embryo. I don't agree morally or ethically abortions once you have an actual fetus in your uterus. I just don't. Because it's unnecessary for you, it's unnecessary for the fetus when it can be avoided with an abortion pill. If you know there's a risk of pregnancy, it's really simple to just get on the ball. Take the test after 3 weeks of conception, like if you had sex, and if it's negative, move on. And if you miss your period, take it again, but you're more likely than not pregnant. But if you are scheduled for an abortion pill, problem solved. I do not think abortion is murder. Murder, defined by God, would be killing another human, another one of his children. And life, defined by God, begins when you take your first breath. I feel like a lot of women are afraid and panicking and juggling back and forth with the fact they don't want to have a pregnancy and they are too afraid to schedule an appointment. And by the time they finally have enough courage to do it and schedule themselves for an appointment, they're already 2-3 months pregnant. But commonly, most abortions are pill form, which means most abortion pills are taken before they reach 10 weeks. However, by week 8, a fetus has developed. And that's just unnecessary when you can take the pill at week 4 or 5. You have to remember, if you schedule yourself to take an abortion pill, you're going to have to wait until their next opening. So if you take a pregnancy test 2 or 3 weeks after having sex, they have the technology now, it'll detect it. You can schedule yourself, so by the time you take the pill, you're going to be 4 or 5 weeks pregnant. So the unnecessary termination of a fetus won't happen. It's just my opinion. Math logic. Think twice before you participate in hookup culture, because men really can be sneaky. They could say they're wearing a condom and then take it off. So it goes from a night of fun to a medical fiasco.
So Adrielle hops on camera with her my honest opinion face on, and child, she's about to lecture the entire internet about abortion, responsibility, and apparently math? Like, girl, not you trying to be the Dollar Tree version of Dr. Phil with a side of Google search. She says people need to stand by their intent. Baby, the only intent you've been standing by is making these long-ass monologues in your car or bedroom. Nobody asked for a sermon. Then she goes, if you know there's a risk of pregnancy, take a test after 3 weeks. Sis, do. You think people just forget how biology works? You're not reinventing the wheel, you're just talking in circles. Next, she hits us with abortion isn't murder, because God says life starts when you take your first breath. But then, in the same breath, she's calling abortion pills the solution to everything. Like, ma'am, pick a lane before you crash into your own contradictions. And don't get me started on the part where she said men really can be sneaky. Girl, the way you delivered that line had me screaming. Not you turning a whole lecture about reproductive rights into a Lifetime movie special about shady men. We know they can be sneaky, but this ain't the platform for your ex-boyfriend therapy session. So yeah, Adrielle tried to give us science, morals, religion, and hookup tips all in one sitting, but all she gave us was a headache. Next time, girl, keep it cute and keep it short. Do y'all think Adrielle is actually making sense here, or is she just talking to hear herself talk? Would you take advice on abortion, hookup culture, and sneaky men from Adrielle Sigler of all people? She says, life starts at first, breath. Do you agree with that? Or do you think she's just twisting scripture to fit her point? Was this an opinion, a rant, or a full blown stand up comedy routine gone wrong? And be real. Did you make it through her whole lecture without zoning out, or did you tap out halfway through? So, what do you guys think about this? Comment below and let's chat. And she closes it out with, think twice before hookup culture. Baby, you're the same woman who sits on live at 2 a.m. cutting her toenails while gossiping. You are not the spokesperson for safe sex and abstinence, okay? Stick to what you know best, oversharing than being dramatic.